Modern science thrives on a robust foundation of evidence and rigorous reasoning. Here's a closer look at the key methods that drive scientific discovery. 1. Empirical evidence, the bedrock of science. The essence, empirical evidence is the cornerstone of scientific inquiry. It emphasizes direct observation, meticulous measurement, and controlled experimentation to gather data about the natural world. In action, observing the unseen, astronomers use telescopes to observe distant galaxies, while biologists meticulously study the behavior of individual cells under a microscope. Testing hypotheses, chemists conduct experiments to determine the reactivity of different elements, while physicists use particle accelerators to investigate the fundamental forces of nature. Precise measurements, from measuring the weight of a single atom to tracking the precise location of a spacecraft, accurate measurements are crucial for building a robust understanding of the universe. Strength. When collected systematically and analyzed rigorously, empirical evidence provides the most reliable foundation for scientific understanding. 2. Deductive reasoning, from the general to the specific. The essence, deductive reasoning is like a logical chain, starting with broad principles or established theories and using logic to arrive at specific conclusions. In action, the classic example, Premise 1, all men are mortal. Premise 2, Socrates is a man. Conclusion, Socrates is mortal. Scientific applications. If a general theory of gravity predicts that objects will fall at a specific rate, deductive reasoning can be used to predict the behavior of objects in specific scenarios. Strength. When the initial premises are true and the logic is sound, deductive reasoning provides strong, irrefutable conclusions. Limitation. The validity of the conclusion hinges entirely on the truth of the initial premises. If the starting assumptions are flawed, the conclusion will inevitably be incorrect. 3. Inductive reasoning, from the specific to the general. The essence, inductive reasoning involves observing specific instances, identifying patterns, and then generalizing those observations to broader principles or theories. In action, observing bird migration. By observing that many different species of birds migrate south in the winter, scientists can induce that migration is a common adaptation to seasonal changes in food availability and temperature. Developing laws of motion. By observing how objects move under various conditions, scientists like Isaac Newton were able to induce the fundamental laws of motion. Strength. A powerful tool for generating hypotheses and identifying general trends. Limitation. Inductive generalizations may not always hold true. 4. Abductive reasoning, the most likely explanation. The essence, abductive reasoning involves inferring the most likely explanation for a set of observations. It's about identifying the most plausible cause or scenario. In action, a detective's approach. A detective at a crime scene uses clues like fingerprints, footprints, and witness testimonies to infer the most likely sequence of events and identify the most probable suspect. Medical diagnosis. Doctors use patient symptoms, medical history, and test results to infer the most likely diagnosis for a patient's illness. Strength. A valuable tool for generating hypotheses and developing plausible explanations. Limitation. Doesn't guarantee that the inferred explanation is the correct one. 5. Statistical analysis. Finding meaning in data. The essence, statistical analysis provides the tools to analyze large datasets, identify patterns, quantify uncertainty, and draw meaningful conclusions. In action, clinical trials. In drug trials, statistical analysis helps determine if a new medication is truly effective in treating a disease by comparing outcomes in treatment and control groups. Climate modeling. Scientists use statistical analysis to analyze climate data, identify trends, and make predictions about future climate change. Strength. Provides a robust framework for drawing reliable conclusions from data, even in the face of uncertainty. Limitation. Requires careful consideration of factors like sample size, data quality, and the appropriate choice of statistical tests. 6. Peer review. Ensuring quality and rigor. The essence, peer review is a critical step in the scientific process. It involves subjecting research findings to the scrutiny of other experts in the field. In action, scientists submit their research papers to scientific journals, where they are reviewed by other experts who assess the quality of the research, the validity of the methods, and the soundness of the conclusions. Importance. helps to identify and correct errors, biases, and weaknesses in research, ensuring that only the most robust and reliable findings are published. 7. Falsification, the pursuit of truth through disproof. The essence, falsification, a principle championed by philosopher Karl Popper, emphasizes that scientific theories can never be definitively proven true. Instead, scientists actively seek evidence that could potentially disprove their hypotheses. In action, if a theory predicts a certain outcome, scientists design experiments to test that prediction. If the experimental results contradict the theory, it must be revised or rejected. Importance: drives scientific progress by encouraging rigorous testing of ideas and fostering a culture of critical thinking. These methods, while distinct, often work in concert to advance scientific understanding. By combining empirical observation with rigorous reasoning, statistical analysis, and the critical scrutiny of peer review, scientists strive to build a robust and ever-evolving picture of the natural world. To illustrate this principle, let's present some practical applications of these methods in the context of scientific theories. 1. Theory of evolution by natural selection. Supported by empirical evidence, fossil record demonstrates a gradual change in life forms over millions of years, with transitional fossils showing intermediate stages. Comparative anatomy, homologous structures, like the forelimbs of humans, bats, and whales, suggest common ancestry. Biogeography, the distribution of species across the globe supports the idea of evolution and continental drift. Molecular biology, genetic similarities between different species provide strong evidence for common ancestry. Inductive reasoning, observations of variations within populations and the struggle for survival led to the generalization of natural selection as the driving force of evolution. Falsification attempts, creationism and intelligent design have attempted to falsify evolution, but have failed to provide compelling scientific evidence or withstand rigorous peer review. 2. Germ theory of disease. Supported by empirical evidence, microscopy, the invention of the microscope allowed scientists to observe microorganisms, such as bacteria and viruses. Controlled experiments, experiments by Louis Pasteur and Robert Koch demonstrated that specific microorganisms cause specific diseases. Public health measures, improvements in sanitation, hygiene, and the development of vaccines and antibiotics based on germ theory led to significant reductions in disease rates. Deductive reasoning, if specific microorganisms cause specific diseases, then controlling the spread of those microorganisms should reduce the incidence of the disease. Falsification of miasma theory, the germ theory effectively falsified the previously dominant miasma theory, which attributed disease to bad air or noxious vapors. 3. Plate tectonics. Supported by empirical evidence, continental fit, the shapes of continents, particularly South America and Africa, seem to fit together like puzzle pieces. Fossil evidence, identical fossils of land animals and plants are found on continents now separated by vast oceans. Seafloor spreading, evidence from seafloor mapping and paleomagnetism revealed the spreading of the seafloor at mid-ocean ridges. Earthquake and volcanic activity, the distribution of earthquakes and volcanoes aligns with plate boundaries. Inductive reasoning, observations of continental shapes, fossil distributions, and geological activity led to the induction of plate tectonics as the driving force behind the Earth's surface movements. Falsification of continental fixism, plate tectonics effectively falsified the earlier theory of continental fixism, which held that the continents were fixed in position. 4. Big Bang theory. Supported by empirical evidence, cosmic microwave background radiation, the detection of this faint afterglow of the Big Bang provides strong support. Redshift of galaxies, the observation that distant galaxies are moving away from us at increasing speeds supports the idea of an expanding universe. Abundance of light elements, the observed abundance of hydrogen and helium in the universe aligns with predictions of the Big Bang model. Deductive reasoning, if the universe originated from a hot, dense state, then we should observe specific predictions, such as the cosmic microwave background radiation. Falsification attempts, while alternative theories exist, none have provided a more comprehensive and supported explanation for the observed properties of the universe. These examples illustrate how a combination of empirical evidence, rigorous reasoning, and the critical process of falsification drive scientific progress. As new evidence emerges and our understanding deepens, Scientific theories are constantly refined, revised, or even replaced by more accurate and comprehensive models. This exploration of scientific methods underscores the importance of a rigorous and evidence-based approach to understanding the natural world. By employing a combination of empirical observation, logical reasoning, and critical analysis, scientists strive to build a robust and ever-evolving picture of the natural world.